Hi, a very good evening and warm welcome to all of you. And those who are listening my lecture, today I want to present some ideas about organizational behavior. I think this term is common and you all have heard of this term because it's a important subject amongst the MBA and the BBA students, and also in certain university this subject is a very important subject in the field of study. Along in the syllabus it is included. Now let me just tell you what is the importance of studying organizational behavior. Organizational behavior is denoted by two terms. One is organization, another one is the behavior. So it is the study of how people they individually behave within themselves and in the organization, how it can create an important impact regarding the structure of the organization related to its environment. It's a field of study which shows the way the people interact within themselves and in an organization. According to Stephen Robbins, it is a very important field, organizational behavior. The term is very important because it shows the way the people, individual, and they behave within the organization in individual way or in a group. So today I want to share my ideas by means of a PPT presentation which shows certain ideas and the challenges and opportunities of organizational behavior and why it is important for any organization to know the importance of organizational behavior to understand the effectiveness of that particular organization. So let me share this PPT with you all. So you all can see that first of all, let me tell you what is an organization. As I told you, it's a collection of people who work together to achieve individual and organizational goals. As I told you, the purpose is for the purpose of promoting efficiency, that is the effectiveness in the organization. In this particular circular diagram, we see there are three different segments: organization, group, and individuals. So there is an increasing demand for the study of this particular subject because we need to know what is the importance of organization, how an individual behaves in the organization, and how group of members collectively create an impact in the organization, because it is related to the job opportunities, employee turnover, human performance, productivity, and overall the managerial aspects and management functions also. Now, one by one, let me just enumerate to you briefly. For example, in the second slide, we can see that managers need to work properly in an organization because managers need to achieve and focus on a particular goal. It's a coordinated social unit which is composed of two or more people. That is, the task of the manager is to achieve those set of goals, because if the managers are only working in the organization, they cannot simply give guidelines that only, okay, this employee will behave in this way and all. They need to monitor. Even after implementing, even after imposing the guidelines, they need to come up with a decision, that is a fixed set of rules for the purpose of achieving some common goal. According to the famous management thinker Mooney and Reilly, organization is very important because, as I told you all, that for the purpose of achieving a target, that is a goal, that is a fixed purpose, aim. So we know that an organization, what is their organization? Is simply people working together for a common purpose to achieve a common goal. That is the meaning of organization. And the behavior, as I told you, it is a field of study according to Stephen Robbins that create an impact on the different individuals, the groups, the structure, and the behavior of the people within the organization, how they behave within themselves and how they behave in the organization. The purpose is to apply such knowledge for improving organizational effectiveness, which is very important for the purpose of achieving efficiency and to achieve the targets in the organization, that is to achieve certain goals. It is comprised of two words. I think I've already explained to you, O is organization and B is behavior. So together, if we join this in an equation form, it comes to organizational behavior. It is also important for interpersonal communication, for some leadership aspects, for the managerial performance, and as I told you, employee turnover, and also different factors. Now, we all know that people are very important in an organization because it is considered that people are the most important assets of the organization. In other words, we can say people contribute a lot in the organization. Why? Because It is through people the organization runs. If there is no people, how can an organization run without any people? So that requires manpower. It requires resources. So what are these resources? These resources are the people who are working within the organization. So as I told you, the collection of people are working together for achieving certain goals. And the same thing which is repeated here, that they create an environment which creates an impact in the organization. So, in a nutshell, like we can again repeat that it is the study of human behavior, okay, for the purpose of achieving effectiveness in the organization. Now, another way we can define organizational behavior, that social system combination of certain acts, certain principles, humanity, technology, that is the way it gives guideline to the people how they will behave and act within the organization through various inputs, through various principles, through various rules, based on which the organization is able to achieve organizational effectiveness. So, according to certain theories, different writers, different management thinkers have propagated certain views regarding organizational behavior. The classical view was developed by Max Weber, who was called the father of modern sociology, wherein he believes that it is a strict set of rules, command, chain of command means chain of order, instruction. The power is centralized among a group of people, or one certain people are them with power vest within their hand, and they only apply that power for the effectiveness of running the organization in a proper way. That is the view of classical administration theory propagated by Max Weber. Scientific theory by Frederick Winslow Taylor. He was a great and famous, eminent management thinker. It's called the father of scientific management. He had focused certain leadership skills and traits. He tried to instigate the rule. I mean, he tried to establish that particular rule that the productivity of the worker depends on the performance, that is, effectiveness of the organization depends on the employee's productivity. Now, suppose there are 5 workers, 5 employees in an organization, and each employee has been allotted a standard time, for example, 8 hours, A, B, C, D, E. And actual time taken by the different employees vary. Suppose A completed the work within 6 hours, B completed the work within 3 hours, C completed the work within 10 hours, took extra time. Okay. D was able to complete the task within 7 hours. So the productivity of each worker varies, based on which is established the rule of scientific management. And that determined the way how the productiveness can be judged depending on the efficiency, and that led to the increment of the worker, that is they worked, and that is how much they're able to generate output within a particular time based on certain factors. That we all know that the output and the productivity of all the employees are not the same. So how can an organization run properly? So it needs to understand the proper way. I mean, the worker needs to understand, the employee needs to understand that how much he's able to complete within that the predetermined target, we say. That is the standard time and the actual time taken, based on which he renders his productivity, based on which is determined the efficiency of the productivity of the workers, which was focused in scientific management theory by Frederick Winslow Taylor. It is based on certain way that he developed this concept that how it can help an organization to run effectively. Then came another principle, Gilbert, that is to time and motion study, and then Henry Gant, who focused on certain motivational factors for effective development of the organization. So Henry Fayol was another management thinker, and his purpose was to prescribe the correct way to manage the organization. How can organization run? How can it achieve its goal properly? Division of labor, specialization of labor, certain tasks were allocated to determine the quality of work and the efficiency of the individual workers. There were also other management thinkers and other studies, Hawthorne studies were there. So how can a particular work be, described? How can the particular work affect the employees and their performance? The productivity depends upon certain environmental factors. So those were described in different phases, in different fields of study, management study, and by the principles initiated by the management thinkers. So Chester Bernard came up with a different theory that organization should maintain an effective system, and motivation is a key factor amongst the group of people. So to retain that effective personnel, that is the group of people who are working with that organization, they should be always be motivated in the midst of their work. Then certain approaches were developed. We know that system approach which emerged during the World War phase, that is 1940, whereas set are things, that is interconnection or interdependent, that is complex unite. That means how can an organization run with a particular system? So there are two types of system, open system and closed system. So he applied that and he found out which system was effective, and accordingly this system's approach was developed. Now, the next topic which I want to discuss, this is just an introduction. I gave you a different management thinkers came to the forefront and they just gave their views based on which the effectiveness of the running of the organization is determined. Then comes another factor, that is challenges and opportunities in the organizational behavior, that is in the organizational field. What are the challenges and opportunities? Let us just see. The main challenges are these few factors, that is we need to improve the employee skill, that people who are working in the organization, they're the resources, they're the assets of the organization. So their quality, their productivity, the management, that empowering people, providing them a lot of motivation to work. And it should be diverse, that is spread throughout the globe, not only in a particular country, but it should be spread throughout, by means of which the employees can come to an understanding, and also they should be ready to accept any sort of innovation and change in the organization. So now improving people skills, how we can improve people skills. Then there are how we can improve quality and productivity. Certain factors are there which plays a key role. Then how can we respond to this globalization concept in by means of this organizational behavior? How, in what way does it affect the globalization? Okay, why we need to empower people? What is empowerment? Then how can we cope up with the temporary phase and how to deal with different situation and handle the problems, and what are the things we need for further innovation and changes? So this in a nutshell, I'll just give you a brief idea. In my next topic, I will be explaining to you about the factors. I will be describing you to the 7 factors. I mean, there are 8 factors which I will be enumerating briefly one by one to give you an understanding that why these challenges and opportunities are essential in organizational behavior. I hope you all like this lecture, and in my next topic, I will just explain to you the factors behind which the organizational behavior plays an important role. Thank you.